Jock Girl, and today's video I'm doing about the stool test, about the experience of traveling to get the stool test done and completed and such. And I'm doing these videos to show you that just my experience on some of the tests that they run for me and what can be done when you have a digestive problem, to see what's causing the problem and possibly what you can do and take to treat the problem. It has been 3 years since I moved to the middle of the USA, and in those 3 years I have been trying to go to the doctors to have them run tests and do things for me, and it was only until I was at the point where I broke down in one of the doctor's offices that they were offering to give me meds to help with the pain, but they still wouldn't run tests, and I don't feel comfortable with that, so I decided to go out of state to see doctors in a different state where I was more confident in that they would run tests. So this video is the first in a series of videos of the tests that I had done, or at least the first wave of tests that I had done. Sure, if I did go to every doctor in this state and maybe in some of the other surrounding states of where I live in the USA, I would find a doctor that would run tests, but the thing is, after 3 years, I don't have the patience, I don't have the energy, and I don't have the money to keep going to see doctors. So it frustrates me when I kept going to doctors here to run just any test, run a test to see if there's a bacteria infection, run a test to see, get urine analysis, stool analysis, to see what the problem is, and they kept refusing. So eventually, when I got to the point where my job was threatening to fire me, I went out of state to a different state that I felt more confident that they would run tests, and thankfully they are running a bunch of tests which should have been run a long time ago. So the main test they do want to run is urine analysis or stool analysis to see what's going on. So they ran 2 stool analysis tests to see what was going on, to see if I was digesting fats and to see if I was digesting proteins. That's why I had to be on a stick of butter per day for 3 days, and they wanted me to eat meat for 3 days. I'll go into more details on what those tests were called and what those tests showed on a different video. On this video, it's more about the difficulty when it came to doing the stool test. So with my condition, or the way my body reacts, I tend to have more diarrhea than constipation. It is very painful and difficult to travel. When I travel, or when I eat out at work or anything, I do get asked if I'm okay. I do have a chronic cough that gets worse when I use things or seem to eat things that make me feel worse. When I was at the airport after doing a stick of butter each day for 3 days and meat for 3 days, it was very painful because I was already painful being there, and then just having to stress my body out, or just it feels like added stress just going out in public and having to kind of just hold my symptoms in. Also during this time I couldn't sleep. It felt like I was on adrenaline, so I couldn't sleep. So I had a burning sensation, profuse sweating, and the pain was really bad. So I rubbed some geranium oil on my back while I was doing this thing to help with the burning sensation on my lower back. All the other usual stuff you take over the counter for stomach pain and stuff don't help. While I was on the diet for the stick of butter each day for 3 days and meat for 3 days, my diarrhea did get worse, and it switched to constipation, which for me, because I knew I was going to be traveling out of state to get the test done and hopefully recover, having the constipation was kind of helpful, because it meant that I was least likely to have an accident. So it came time to do the stool test, and I still had constipation, so I took some stuff that gets me to the point of ultimate accidental mode. Thankfully, I didn't get the ultimate accidental mode. It did help pass the stool, and I was able to get the test done. Some suggestions I have when traveling with digestive problems, where you're constantly going to the bathroom and have a lot of pain, I recommend traveling at odd hours, meaning extremely early in the morning or really late at night, so that the lines are not as long. So it's going to be painful anyways to travel and going during those odd hours is going to help with the wait time you have between using the bathroom or just between those lines. I recommend not checking in luggage. Depending on how long you're going to be staying, you may have to check in luggage, but if you can avoid it, try not to check in luggage because it's going to be an added line you're going to be waiting in, and more time you're going to have to wait to get your baggage. And so I recommend traveling with some oatmeal, and while you're on the plane, they do give you water, so you can add that water and pour that water into your oatmeal and have something to eat. The other thing is you can travel with bread, and sometimes I miss my flight, so I do need to get something to keep up my energy. So I do take something with me to keep up my energy. So I hope this helped you guys. Have a good week. Bye-bye.